morning, everyone. All within this realm. It is 6:19. We're going to pour ourselves a cup of coffee and we'll have a little chat because James Best isn't live. So I figured I'd do it. Why not? We got our coffee. Good morning. Let's take this down before it annoys me. We got a beautiful sunrise here at the Missouri. In Missouri. And you don't believe me? Check it out. Ignore the bugs. That's the sky I'm looking at. It looks more lit up in the camera than it actually does here in real life. That's my view right here. And if I go a little bit more to the right, you'll know where I'm at. Right about. No, we're not going to show you. But I am in the truck, and but I don't know for how long. I've got one bid in on a load, but it's 3 hours away on the Deadhead. So the appointment's at 10. So they've got like basically half an hour. They'll have to do like one of those quickie pre-trips and then get out of here if they take it, but I doubt they will because I put a pretty good price. They'd have to be desperate and or stupid to take it, but you never know. You never know, right? Because there's more of loads than us, and so that gives us the leverage. We'll do some shout outs. We've got our Sanctuary coffee mug, and I'm excited. Not sure why I'm excited, but we're excited. Let's get this video up on here. Yeah, they countered, but they haven't said anything. They're gonna let that expire is what they're gonna do. Those you know whose bids expire, you probably know who I'm talking with, right? So, all right. You guys like that little thumbnail? That's what we see in Thunder Funding if a broker isn't paying his bills. So. Chucky, are you near me? Where you at? Trucking with Daniel Adami. Good morning. You are first. AJ Jones, Sean Armstrong with his brand new shiny Redline trailer. How are you doing? Jesse Bennett, what's up? Nomadic Brit, driving and listening. GNC Family Trucking, morning all. TM, hello coffee time. Hello coffee time. Hello. Scott SRO Logistics, jolly good morning to you. GNC Family Trucking Mine too. Trucking with Daniel Adami says morning Scott, morning Chucky. We're all saying good morning to each other. You guys are such friendly fellows. Dutch, good afternoon, because he's in a different part of the world. Old fat white guy, what's up? And everybody's saying good morning to everybody else. So, and I guess that's it. That's the last of this live feed, right? 13:25 here. Good deal. I'm waiting for some more reds to come into the sunrise, and then maybe we'll go outside for a walk or something. I had a pretty good profitable day yesterday. It was delivered 2 loads yesterday. I picked one up Monday, delivered it Tuesday morning, and then picked up and delivered it load straight through. So yesterday was a pretty good day. We're running short as usual, like I would do something different because of my hunting trip coming up this weekend, which James Best had a very funny picture that he sent me on Facebook. Gonna call you today, Nomadic Brit. Smooth Trucking, John Armstrong. What did you think of Morrison, Illinois? Hang out with James. Hey, Steve. I'm at Dottie, so probably not. Okay, well, you're not too far from me. You are exactly 147 miles from my location. So if you guys could do math and you know which interstate I'm on, you probably know where I'm at. Smooth hanging with James is actually really fun. Like, John's surprised by that. And watched him drink a lot of beer, but we laughed a lot and had fun. You know, back when James was in the truck, being a truck driver, you know, every now and then he would, we'd meet up. One time we met up in Joplin. Was it Joplin? We had a pretty good live feed. And there was another spot where we did a live, might have been Effingham. But if you do a live feed with James, it's pretty fun. Looks like this guy had kind of a rough night. Check it out. See if I can zoom in on that. Looks like someone might have had a boo-boo with him. What a shame. Nice, shiny new Freightliner, and it's all messed up. Hope he didn't pay $240,000 for that thing. That's, you know, that's one of the things that I think about when you think about paying $200,000 for a new basic fleet truck. You got the financing and you're all proud of yourself, and you're sitting there in the truck stop, get ready to book your first load, and you get on the thing and you make a call and you go, hey, broker guy, I need money because I just bought a $220,000 truck. So will you let me do this load for this amount of money? And then he goes, well, okay. So you decide on a price, and you know, and you go to bed because you don't have to pick it up till the morning, and then all of a sudden, wham, someone wipes your truck out because they work for some foreign company that doesn't screen their CDL drivers very good, and the guy's driving like a 1996 Freightliner FLD that's been rebuilt like 14 times and has duct tape and everything, and the guy can't even like communicate with you correctly to figure out what insurance and all that stuff, and now you've got this huge truck payment, and now you know, now the odds of that happening are pretty slim, but you never know, right? You never know. Schmitty, what's up? I haven't seen you in a minute. TM says message retracted. Truck driver that don't look good. Out of Gallagher crap. That's success. Big Houston. Oh, that sucks rather. Okay, I got confused there. Duct tape time, right? Good luck with your hunting trip. Thank you. The hot dog stand just got a little bigger this week. Yep. Yeah, Scott's making moves. He's trying to imitate us like trucking guys, and he's doing very well. He's got some contractors with them, and one of them's a very famous person. But I won't put that news out of the bag. Hound Dog, what's up? Sage News, good morning. 97 Freightliner held together by duct tape and bubble gum, which is the exact truck I learned how to drive in CDL school. This coffee's already cold. Dang it. And I just stepped on my own window shade. I didn't moon you guys just now, did I? I bent over and my pants aren't all the way up. So let's talk about something. Let's talk about, we got to have a topic, right, when you go live, especially these morning coffee thoughts. But first, we're going to go look at sunrise. It's pink as this, but it is fairly pretty. There you go. Oh, I revealed where I was. Damn it. So, there's your sunrise, just in case you guys are in a cloudy area of the world. That's one of the, oh my signal kind of sucks. Look at that. It's all fuzzy. You guys are like, wow, Steve, thanks for the pixelated look of crap. So, I apologize. I had no idea. Let's talk about mental fitness. And I've had some conversations with friends this week that aren't in good places right now mentally. And, you know, first of all, have friends to call if you're feeling down, okay? And then have backup friends just in case those friends can, you know, because I can't answer all the phone calls, right? I know that I'll have people call while I'm trying to book a load, or it's, you know, it's late at night and I didn't hear the phone ring, you know, or I'm in the middle of something at home, you know, and I'm kind of bad about calling back. So, you know, for that I apologize. But, you know, that's where the voicemail comes in. You send me a voicemail and you go, hey man, you know, I'm really struggling with something. Can you help me out? You know, and sometimes you just need somebody that can listen to you, someone that can at least say, you know what, I know what you're going through, I feel you, and we're gonna help you get through this. You know, somebody to vent to. You know, sometimes you just need a different perception. Sometimes emotion clouds our judgment, and you need out of the box to kind of say, you know what, this is what needs to happen, maybe, I don't know. So it's you need somebody to talk to, because this world can be a dark and dreary place if you got nobody in your life, right? And you know, I talked to somebody this week that really, I made his month. I mean, he literally said, this is the best I've felt in weeks. And I felt bad because I didn't realize that he had been hurting that much, you know? And so we all need to kind of look out for each other at this point. You know, and it's okay to reach out. It's not weakness. It's not feeling, you know, feeling bad is not a weakness. Feeling depressed is not weakness. It's actually opposite of that. It's kind of like if you put your body through physical exertions, like, you know, working, you know, you heard, well, how can I put this? If you're like working a lot with your hands and your hands are always sore, you know, or if you're tired, you know, or your knee hurts because you had to walk a mile today, you know, something like that, you know, we go through that mentally as well. And it's not a sign of weakness, just a sign that, you know, pain, this is a little nugget here, pain is an opportunity to tell you what's wrong. And once you know what's wrong, then you can solve that problem. I'm going to repeat that. Pain is an opportunity to learn about a problem. And once you learn about the problem, you can work towards solving it. It is through struggle that you become stronger. You don't get out of the gate lifting deadlift 500 pounds. You got to build your way up to that. And when it comes to mental fitness, I mean, how many times have you guys heard that, that a battle is 80% mental, 20% physical? That's absolutely true. Be sure to get a safety vest for your walk, LOL. Absolutely. Read a story yesterday. It had a picture of a roast in a U.S. supermarket. The price on the roast was $110. What's up? Are y'all gonna go vegetarian? Dutch. Okay, so let's talk about the grocery store situation. So, certain grocery stores are having supply issues, right? If you go to Aldi's, it's a little bit different than if you go to Walmart. If you go to Walmart, it's a little bit different than, say, Price Cutter or Food Lion or Publix, And so what's happening is, while there are some bare shelves and there are some price increases, I've been guilty of doing the picture of the meat, thing. One time, Walmart had like 3 ribeyes for like $60. And it blew my mind, right? And so, but what I'm also noticing is that there's a lot of meat that's spoiling on the shelves at Walmart because of their prices. So eventually that price gouging is going to bite them in the butt, right? Because Aldi's isn't price gouging the beef, and so what I'm noticing in this country right now is, yes, there is inflation. Yes, there is a supply chain issue, but people are trying to capitalize it to make up for their loss of profits last year. And so that's why you're seeing Freightliner trucks for $240,000. That's why you're seeing dry van trailers for $90,000, because they didn't pay that much for those. Their profit margin is, they're trying to increase their profit margin because they got less to sell. And so what do? We'll sit there and we'll go, well, there's a meat shortage, so yeah, we got to up the price. Well, there was a production issue with meat. I know several local meat producers, and they're doing just fine, and they're not price gouging. So this is an opportunity for people to support the small stores. Those are the ones that need the support. Those are the ones that need the help. And most small places will not tell you about the struggle of sales. They will tell you about the struggle of employment or the struggle of materials. And so this gives you an opportunity. You know what? If Walmart wants to charge me $60 for 3 ribeyes, I'll just take that $60 and go buy meat locally at a local farm and help that guy out and get better quality meat in the first place. And so it's a transition shift. I think that the upper elite rich people want us to be vegetarians. I mean, look at the Bill Gates and the fake meat stuff, because that's practically dog food. I mean, it's the same ingredients, in my opinion, allegedly, as Sage would say. But what happens is you got people that go to the grocery stores and take pictures of these things, and then it grows like a virus, right? And man, I just got a yellow dollar sign things. And anyways, so some grocery stores are putting fake boxes of stuff on the shelves to prevent people from taking these far. Yep. My thing just went offline for a second, and they don't want that, because that's what creates hoarding. That's what creates panic. The whole toilet paper thing, that was a media manipulation, hoarding, thing. Just like this Let's Go Brandon crap. You had a reporter who lied to the president because she knew that he couldn't take the truth. They didn't want him to know the truth. And then they made you guys who wanted to say F this person into saying, now you're saying let's go kid's name. And now we're making stickers, and now we're making t-shirts. But the reality is they've manipulated you. They have told you what they want you to tell the world, right? And so the easiest way to create mental fitness is, after this live feed's done, put the phone down, have it on calls only, and go down the road with some music. All right, go down some road with some music, or listen to something funny. Take the newscast out of your deal. Is it important to be informed? Yes, but if you let the darkness consume you, it will depress you, and it will make you to where you don't want to do stuff. And when you don't want to do stuff, that's what they want. They want you to be frozen in fear. They want you to not have goals, to not have dreams, to not have aspirations, because then they can manipulate you into that dopamine rush and that consume. You need to buy the steaks because they're $60. You need to buy a car because they're overpriced. You need to buy all these great things to make you happy because you saw it in a TikTok somewhere. Anyways. I'm in Louisiana, headed to the greatest country in the country. I'll get in on that dog meat before I go vegan, right? Well, hound dog, that fake meat is, ugh. Good morning, Nevada. I'm kind of like Ray Wiley Hubbard, TM. Your sunrise looks better than mine, more clouds this way. I bet that's a nice classic XL beside you. Love those trucks. Yeah, I mean, it's seen better days on the paint job, but he's got like 5,000 lights that he was trying to fix last night. That's the bad thing about those custom chicken lights, is one goes out, it's like that old school Christmas light thing. It was messing with this whole deal there. So the guy was rolling around in this dust and mud and dirt to fix that light. But he doesn't have emissions problems, I know that. Cool hat, says Jeremy Rice. Thank you. You're so right about media manipulation. I wish people would realize this and learn to discern information. And look, I've been guilty of it too, right? Preach Brother says, John, interesting perspective on Let's Go Brandon. That's what I do, Nevada. I give people a different perception because I look at things outside of the box. For example, the whole Rittenhouse thing, right? We come to find out that the FBI had surveillance footage from overhead of the entire event. And, and the FBI is like, oh, we didn't have anything. I guess there's this one clip, and everybody's like, oh, man, the FBI is trying to do this and that. No one's questioning the fact that they were up there in the first place just observing and not doing anything about the riots. Because what people don't realize is that the people that started the riots were becoming useful idiots. And when shit hits the fan, those are the first ones that are going to be targeted and taken out, because they know that they're the ones that are going to raise the most ruckus. And so what you have is evidence that the government was quietly watching this thing and seeing how it unfolded. Perhaps maybe manipulating it a little bit. But no one's talking about that. Everybody's just talking about, the details of a self-defense encounter that shouldn't even gone to trial. But that's just my opinion. That's allegedly. Thank you for the yellow dollar sign. We just found the whole local farm and got a whole pig. Next is finding a cow. There you go. Support your local farms, businesses, best bet and best deal on buying in bulk, right? John, they've never been your friend. What are you talking about? It's not like one day they woke up like, you know what? I think we hate the American public this morning. It sucks to be them, yeah. No, they were like, no, they don't like us. I buy meat from the Amish. That's probably some really good meat, too. It's look, it's a strange world that we live in. You know, the 80s dystopian movies and the dystopian books are literally true right now, like Fahrenheit 451. I mean, we live in that world today. There's wars and rumors of wars, right? And then you have, instead of the burning of books by a government entity, which is the firefighters and the firemen in Fahrenheit 451, you basically have the court of public opinion on social media. That's who censors. You know, Sage did a video where he showed this press conference at the head of the FMCSA calling some roads racist. You know, I try to be even keeled about things. I try to look at things with the level perspective. But when I heard him say that press conference about racist roads, every now and then something comes along that just makes me dumbfounded. Like, you know, $90,000 dry van trailers or $240,000 Freightliners, or the head of the area that I work in, the head of that government saying things like roads and bridges were built specifically to divide race. That is a person that's not grounded in reality. And those are the people that are running things right now. And that's why things are so messed up. And so sometimes I just chalk everything up to demonic possession at this point, because I don't, it just blew my mind. It still does. And the more I see of those things, and the more that I see what's happening in the industry, and the more that I see this dystopian universe creeping up into our little world, the less I want to stay in trucking. Because I totaled my truck and trailer today. I'm out. I'm done. It's a wrap. I'm not paying $240,000 for a new truck. I'm not paying $90,000 for a new trailer. I'm not paying $100,000 for a 500,000 mile truck. I'm just not doing it. It's done. It's a wrap. I'll find something else to do. I'll go collect aluminum cans somewhere. You know, and that is something to observe as well, because every day it becomes harder and harder for the small guy to open his business up, regardless of the industry. And that is not the American way I grew up with. And that is slowly being destroyed minute by minute, day by day. And we don't even realize it, because we're on these stupid TikToks saying stupid shit like, let's go Brandon, and thinking that we're fighting establishment. No, you're being idiots. You're being manipulated through your fear, through your anger. This is good coffee, by the way. Government says, let's create a problem today. Look, that is the new business model. Let's create a problem and then we'll become the saviors. Right? That is a business model. That's not just the government. There's full-on corporations doing that. And it's all under the guise of I gotta keep track of the time. It's all under the guise of the vid, right? And the precautions, the cure was worse than the disease. It's kind of like how you treat cancer with chemotherapy. It's basically a race of who dies first with chemotherapy, you or the cancer. Ask me how I know. I mean, that's just, it's insane. Man, check out this truck. Look at this truck. I know it's kind of squirrel, but check it out. Man, nice truck. That's a W9 right there. That is a 70s model 79 right there. With the matching trailer. That is the old school way. Yeah, dude, I'm filming you. Look at that. That is the trucking that I miss. That is pride in your ride. That is a person who's getting pushed out of this industry. Look at that. That's the spirit of trucking I miss. Right there. It exists in a few pockets here and there, but not like it was. And so at the end of the day, and this is where I was getting at the beginning of this video, okay, we're not being political anymore. So you anti-political people, relax, chill. We're back to coffee morning talk. At the end of the day, we have no control over any of it. You have control of how you protect yourself. You have control on your contingency plans of how to deal with certain crisis. Have extra food, have extra water, have a means to defend yourself. Have a plan just in case things get really bad. Because you cannot control what is happening, only your reactions to what is happening. This is the world we live in. This is our reality. Think about a kid that grew up in the early 1900s. The world probably was ending to them. You had, the Spanish flu, and then you had World War One, and then World War One, then the Spanish flu, and then you had the Dust Bowl, and then you had the stock market crash, and then you had World War II, all in their lifetime. And so if they were inundated with social media back then, back then you had the radio and the newspaper, and that was it. But you weren't inundated with this information. You only knew what was in front of you, right? I need to eat today. My crops are dying today. I lost a family loved one over the flu or overseas in some war I don't understand. You didn't have social media trying to manipulate how you thought and how you felt and what you needed or needed to not do. You were just told what to do, and you looked at the day in front of you. And I imagine that those people thought that the world was ending. And so, but we survived that, right? We survived that. And we'll get through this as well. What it's going to look like on the other side, I have no idea. But I've told you guys for 2 years that this whole scenario was going to test your mental strength, your physical strength, your health, your mental abilities. It's your finances. It's going to test everything. And so it's through these struggles that we become stronger. And if we become stronger on the other side of this, then we're golden. Then we can form a new and better existence. But right now, you don't have any control. But the media wants to inflict fear. Social media wants to inflict fear. And even if you're the guy that's off-grid, doesn't watch YouTube, doesn't watch Facebook, which if you're not watching YouTube, you wouldn't be watching this. But let's say you're that guy. Let's say that guy in that truck just passed me doesn't even know what social media is. It still affects you because of everybody around you. You don't want to be like that old lady on the camera that was like, why is there no toilet paper? You don't want to be that person. But at the same time, you have to have this ability to be able to put the blinders on, as Chucky would say, and focus on what you need to focus. Be aware of your surroundings, but don't let the darkness consume you. That's the thing that you need to do now. And you know me, I'm not the kind of person that says you need to or you should. But right now, we all need to strengthen ourselves up mentally and physically, emotionally, because tough times are here and they're happening and they're going to get worse. You can't control it. There's nothing you can do to avoid it, So you can only control your reaction to it, and that's it. And if it takes you out, it takes you out. If you're right with God, then you won't worry about what happens to you afterwards, right? And so that's what you have to focus on. And so it's okay to call your friends if you're feeling down. It's okay to call your friends and or shut off the phone so you don't put, you know, a freedom pill inside your noggin. It's okay to call somebody. It's not weakness. We all need help at one time or another. That's what we need to do for each other. Because if we don't stand together, if we keep being divided, you know, we're going to fall. And you think about this. We talk about diversity. How about unity? How about unity? That's what we need to address. Unity. What's your thoughts outside the box on crypto? The head of MicroStrategy had the best video on True Traders Group explaining Bitcoin. It's digital property that can be a hedge against inflation. And so when they want to do this one world, you know, digital currency thing, it might be worth something. Now, the meme coins like SHIB and Doge and all those stupid things, buyer beware. I've been burned by this SHIB thing. And, you know, and I'm curious to see how many of you haven't cashed out yet and have lost thousands on that SHIB thing. My father never threw stuff away and always tries to fix stuff. He's always got mad if it couldn't be fixed. He would be furious now because a lot of these things can't be fixed anymore. Remember they used to have TV repair shops? Remember they used to have, like, you just didn't buy something new every single time, you know? You know how many times I took a lawnmower in to get fixed, only to be told, well, it's not even worth fixing because it'll cost more to fix it than you can buy a new one for? How many times have you heard that about everything? And so when your truck breaks down and you throw a rod in your motor and you're like, oh, it's time for a new truck, you're going to throw a $240,000 at maybe a $70,000 problem? That's the mindset that we've been programmed so we can consume, and then create that profit margin. We had old black and white Philco till 1976. Zenith, they used to have a Zenith plant here in Springfield, and a lot of people worked there for years and years and made excellent money, and then one day it was just gone. And that's about when the poverty line started to increase there in Springfield. Solo Cup in Springfield, same thing. You had guys that was there 20, 30 years. Same thing with the diesel shops in for the railroads. All excellent careers, all thrown out the window. You know, look at Detroit. You can find old footage of Detroit back in its heyday. It was a beautiful city with lots of opportunity. And once all those factories got yanked out, now look at it. It's basically a third world country in there. That's what's killing this country. And by taking all the stuff overseas and having this disposable mindset of we just got to buy new instead of fixing the used because we got this abundance of crap, the poverty level stretches even more, and now we have a supply chain issue. Because why? Because the majority of our stuff comes from overseas, and people have tried to reestablish our foothold in production here in America, but what killed that? The government. the government policies. If it's cheaper for me to make my t-shirts overseas than it is in America because of all the government bureaucracy, that's a problem. And that's what's created the situation that we're in now, one of many things. Just look at a CB radio being fixed. Buy a truck worth fixing, approach in frame and out of frame, this truck will ride. Twitch, what's up? And look, the majority of drivers out here are driving company trucks. They don't care if that truck throws a rod. They don't care that the truck's $240,000. You know, and big fleets aren't paying $240,000 for those trucks. You know, and they can absorb some losses because of how they've established their business and created their platform. You know, if a Freightliner goes out at Schneider, you think that they're hurting? No. But if the one truck operation or the 3 truck authority loses one of their trucks, that's a huge chunk. That's 1/3. If you have 3 trucks under your authority, that's 1/3 of your income wiped out because the truck's down. And you know, whereas, you know, Schneider, it's one of a 10,000th or something, however many trucks they have, 1 of 5,000th. So the game is rigged, as George Carlin has said. So again, you have no control over that. All you can do is control your reaction. What's your work ethic like? Can you keep your nose out of your phone long enough to be focused and to not get depressed over the crap that you see around you? And it's hard not to do that. I mean, you can't like drive down Hollywood Boulevard and not be depressed. You can't go down the road and see a billboard that says that 20 veterans kill themselves every day because of PTSD and not feel something for those people. You have to feel something. I mean, you know, all around us you have this negative energy, and it's been here since 2019 tenfold. You know, it's always been around, but it's literally been tenfold in the last 2 years, and it's doubled in the last 20 years. This negative energy that's out here, and it just keeps getting worse. And so we don't have any control. So we got to unify. We got to support each other. All these YouTube channels that are tearing each other down, that just adds to the negativity. That just adds to the negative energy. And while people like it, it's entertaining and it's a distraction, all you're doing is feeding into that negative energy that has consumed everything about our existence. Therefore, depression's up, suicide's up, drug use is up, alcoholism's up. You know, everybody's seeking therapy and can't get it because half the staff quit or was fired. And so we have to stand for each other. That's it. That's how we get through this. Unity. I gotta check my my bid. Nope, they haven't touched it. So let's do this. Withdraw offer. Yep, because now I can't make it in time. Now, what I'll do... Sorry, we're taking a 180 here. I got to get off this anyways. I put in a bid. I got to be there by 10, right? So I know the customers. And so if the broker decides to put a window on this, in other words, they're more interested in moving this load and not not giving a crap whether it's picked up in time, because there's plenty of time on the delivery. And I know the shipper will load me because I know the shipper. I will check this load to make sure that there's a window. If they put a window on it, then I'll put my bid back in to see if they'll take it. If they put a window on it, or they're just going to push it to tomorrow. or they're just going to cancel the load. That's how it works. So those of you new in the spot market, that's how that works. They will wait to the last minute to move it, and if it can't move at the price that they need it to, they'll just push it to the next day if it's a non-perishable item. Or if the receiver say, look, this week we want this many loads from this shipper, right? And so just get it done at this price. So for every one that's done for 500, you might have to do one for 1,000, but in reality they want them all for about 600, right? So it's law of averages. And I notice that a lot of the click and goes do that. They'll like, this picks up in 1 hour and here's the price, and no one will take it. Next thing you know, it's a window, it's a work-in. How many times have you guys called on a load? Well, it's a work-in because we didn't get it covered. And so, but certain products can just be pushed to the next day, and that's what I've noticed with these loads that I do. They just push them to the next day. And so I will keep an eye on that load, and we shall see if they put it to a window. I'll put my bid back in, because as long as I can make that delivery, which is pretty easy to do. Learning how to manipulate your market and learning how to ride the waves and to react to what they're doing or how they're reacting to what's going on around you. That's the easiest. Not the easiest, but that's the best way to handle the spot market is to ride the waves, figure out patterns, figure out strategies, and minimize risk. Now, if the receiver was Walmart, I wouldn't risk that. If I know that the shipper would take 6 hours if I came in late by half an hour, I wouldn't risk it. But I know the shipper, I know the receiver. Yesterday, they both loaded me. I did the same exact load. Yesterday, I did that load, and they loaded me 3 hours early, and they unloaded me 3 hours early because they're very casual. Some appointment times are merely just formalities to not overbook their days. And knowing the difference, when it comes to new customers, I don't take those kind of risks. When it comes to certain situations, I don't take those risks, but for certain customers, I will. However, I will not put myself in a situation where I can tell the broker, yeah, I could be there on time, and then not make it, and then come up with an excuse. That is a bad business practice. But you can call the broker and say, look, I noticed you got this load, it picks up at 10, I'm 3 hours away. Is there any way that they can work me in? And you put that on the rate con as a window so I'm not late, and I'll do that load for you. That's also negotiable. But when you do that, it depends on who has the leverage, who's more desperate for you to do that load because it's your go-home load, or for them to get that load covered because it needs to be covered because they've already delayed it twice. So that's something that you have to look at. So, how did your Shiba go? Did you sell it before your loss got too big? Okay, so here's the deal with Shiba. I put $100 on it, and it's sitting at $69. So that's the only reason why I only put $100 into it. If I cash out now, I will have a loss. It just went down again. So I'll just let it sit in there and rot. And if it goes down to nothing, then I've only lost $100. You could do that in a casino in like 5 minutes. So it's not like I put thousands of dollars into it. Now, when I got into it, it had stalled. And of course, crypto, Coinbase or whatever was locked up. Couldn't even get in on it. Because the day before, and this is why I bought into it, the day before I knew people that had literally doubled their money. or almost double their money. They make quite a bit of profit off it. So I thought, man, if I throw $100 and I get like $200 or $300, I'll cash out, be done. So it's a learning experience. And now, meanwhile, my Bitcoin that I have, my very small, little, tiny fraction of a Bitcoin I have, has actually made some money. But I took a hit on all my day trading stuff yesterday. I went and opened my Robinhood up, and I was like, holy crap, everything's red. What the hell? So, whatever. Have you had many loads where you show up and they don't have the product? Happened to me yesterday. No, Nevada, they'll have less of the product. Like one of my normal loads, they had, instead of 16 pallets, they only had 14 pallets, which was good news for me because that meant the load was lighter. But I haven't had that too much. But again, I do a lot of the same stuff. That is definitely a risk. Now, I know a gal that's a dispatcher who dispatches several small authorities, and she was literally getting her butt handed to her in South California. Loads were canceling left and right. She had like 9 to 12 cancellations between only two trucks yesterday, trying to get them out of California. And so there's that to me, that's the kind of stuff I pay attention to, because what that means, what that tells me is that a month ago I predicted that a lot of people were going to start canceling orders. A lot of people were just going to give up on getting the stuff that they needed to stay in business this year. And so and then you got a lot of people that just won't ship because it's too expensive. They'll just, we'll just figure out a different way to do this. And so when that happens, you have a lot of load cancellations, and this happened last year too. Last year you had a lot of loads canceling because people were canceling orders, because now instead of ordering 100 of these items to sell, we're only going to order 25 because we don't expect our sales to be big. And so now you get a lot of canceled loads. Now you get a lot of products not there yet. And if there's a shortage of materials like plastic, wood, stuff like that to package these materials, then instead of paying a truck to sit at your dock for 12 hours and pay detention, they're just going to either cancel the load, or they're just, give you a tow new and send you on your way. So be aware that if you put yourself in a situation, that truck's name was Flat Broke Trucking Incorporated. I like that. Nice truck too. You have to keep in mind that you might get trapped somewhere, or you might have a lot of deadhead. Now, I talked to somebody yesterday that was deadheading. His company dispatched him this way, but he was deadheading 800 miles to pick up a load because it really needed to go, and he was the only truck that could do it. So you have scenarios like that as well. The market is all over the place, and in some areas the volumes are down, in some areas the volumes are so high that it's utter chaos. California being that place. So keep in mind that there's a lot of load cancellations in November because they're not selling as much as they thought. And and if they ordered something and they don't want to pay those extraordinary prices anymore, guess what? It's just going to sit on the dock and rot. How many times that we go, I ain't taking that load for that rate. It could sit on the dock and rot for all I care. Well, guess what? People are starting to do that. They will let it rot on the dock. And what that means for you is canceled loads. So you need to put yourself in a position that you can easily overcome that. And that's tough in California because there's only one way to go. Well, two ways to go, north or east. And so you have to keep those things in mind and don't get frustrated. But this chick was definitely frustrated because she had 9 loads canceled between 2 trucks, just trying to get her trucks out of California. We have a shortage on Christmas stuff, but no problem is the crap from the Far East. How many tinsel and Christmas lights do you need? Dutch, I was in Walmart Monday, and there was like plenty of Christmas stuff. There was plenty of Christmas trees. And so one has to wonder when they sit there and say, oh, there's going to be a shortage of turkeys. You better get your turkey now. Because they want the sales now. And they want to be able to price gouge later. Same thing with Christmas stuff. We've been using the same plastic Christmas tree for, I think, 22 years now. And, I mean, I think my wife and I bought it our first Christmas together. And every now and then we'll get a real tree and deal with that for a minute, but out of 22 years we've been using the same tree, the same decorations go around it. We haven't bought new lights, we haven't bought new anything. And because of my father, I never have to buy Christmas lights ever again, because he used to be the guy that put 30,000 lights on his house, and of course I acquired all those lights. Well, I take that back, I think I donated them. But either way, I kept some, and so we never need lights. Yeah, Robinhood got hacked, and so I got the email saying that your email was hacked, or was acquired, but nothing else, no private bank or whatever. Let's hope that's true. You thought about a couple of I haven't put $2,000 into anything that sketchy ever. Yesterday you saw a store where we're taking Bitcoin. More and more places are taking Bitcoin. They will make credit cards and ATMs from Bitcoin. It's going to become a thing. In my case, I was at the manufacturer. They couldn't produce the product. And that can happen too. You have, if you have a strain of the HIV in places, they might shut the plant down, or they might shut that line down, or maybe some packaging didn't show up, so they couldn't do that. And that's why a lot of places are warehousing to kind of survive that situation. Anthony Bressler, good morning. What's up? So, I mean, look, like I said, man, I despise the same, but it is what it is, and that's kind of what you have to do. You just have to put the blinders on. Don't get absorbed in all this dystopian universe. I kind of look at it like all the 80s dystopian movies that we watched as kids, if you're my age, kind of prepared us for what's going on. Everything from Mad Max to Demolition Man to Running Man to RoboCop to Hunger Games even. There's so many elements of each of these stories that are really ringing true right now. 1984, Fahrenheit 451. And and Fahrenheit 451 was written a long time ago, and he's predicted everything in that book. The big screen TVs, the interstates, the ear pod things. He predicted all of that. Ray Bradbury must have had a crystal ball or a time traveling machine, because he saw all of it. Interactive media, he predicted that. And while the firemen, that's not the case now. It's done digitally. And he even talks about that in that book. That we change words around, and we erase history. That is in the book. So, Death Wish 1 through 4, yeah. SW, good morning. So, and when it comes to low cancellations and holidays, you just got to be really careful, because you might put yourself in a situation, if you want to be home for Christmas, you might be deadheading 1,000 miles to get home because of a low cancellation. So just keep that in mind when it comes to the holidays. For example, I need to be home by Thursday actually, and so I'm running short. So, if my last load cancels and I'm 300 miles away, I can just go home. It's not a big deal. Now, is it very profitable if that happens over and over? Absolutely not. Like, I'm not going to take a load from Kansas City to Tulsa right now for $800 because, well, I got a deadhead up to Kansas City, take the Tulsa, and then if I don't get anything out of Tulsa in time, I'll have to deadhead back to Springfield. Well, that puts an extra 500 miles on that load. Now it's not so profitable. So, you got to be strategic on how you do things like that. Good morning, Jose. Conditioning, what's scary is what kids are being conditioned for a bleak future. Nevada, in my community posts, I shared a video about mental illness and electronics. And what I know for a fact, because I have 3 kids, is that the programming's been going on for the last 30 years. And you want to talk about being blindsided. And when I talk to other people our age that have kids our age, and they're all saying the same thing from different parts of the country, that tells me that there's a bigger picture there. And that's the picture. You got to be able to see the forest from the trees. You got to be able to see the big picture. And so when you have isolated events that all happen at the same time in different parts of the world, that's not just coincidence. There's something there. And you have to be observant to that. Because you don't want to be blindsided. You don't want to be knocked on your butt and wonder what hit you. And you can't prevent that 100%. And the whole school thing really just blindsided us as parents. And so when I look at children today, like small, like we were at a church event Saturday, like a rummage sale kind of thing, and the pastor, they've got a little 3-year-old daughter, no social skills whatsoever, very hyperactive, overweight. It's got a device in her hand at all times. If it's not a device, it's a piece of food. And I wonder about her future. What are her coping skills going to be? That really tears me apart. You're in Kansas City. Nothing has changed in the last 10 years. I don't know. There's a few things that are better up there, Jose. I was just up there yesterday. Good morning, brother. All truckers. Greetings from Texarkana on my Dallas for big time money. Ohio to Texas. Good deal. What's your opinion about Travis Scott? I don't know who Travis Scott is. The public school system is nuts. Yes, that is absolutely true. Well, who is Travis Scott? I've heard that name, but I couldn't tell you who it is. And if that offends somebody, forgive me. I'll be right back. Don't cry. All right, we're back. He performed and people rushed stage, cushioning to death several people. 8 people died at his concert a few days ago. Oh, okay, that person. So, the headlines that I saw was that he had no remorse. and that he was up there promoting one of his songs like literally the day after. Like nothing had happened, which is understandable because they want to brush that under the rug. But concerts crushing people, that's not a new thing. That was happening quite a bit in the 60s and 70s, in the early 80s. I think that poor guy is waking up to his truck being smashed. He's outside taking pictures. I don't know how that even happens. It's not tight in here, so somebody just wasn't paying attention. It's very sad. And you got all these conspiracies about what was actually happening there. But yeah, it's interesting that they're not really talking about it. It's not in everybody's feed, at least not in my feeds. He partied with Drake after 8 died in Astro World crush, and now can be sued for billions by 68 victims. Clip emerges of him singing while watching an unconscious man get hauled out. Good. I hope he gets sued, because I know artists that once something negative like that happens, they stop the performance so they can kind of get a hold of things. So it just shows you the irresponsibility and lack of empathy that a lot of artists have for their fans. That's unfortunate that happened. I don't support that kind of music. So, you have death metal shows that have huge mosh pits and no one ever dies, right? So, I mean, it's a negative situation for sure. What was your last truck issue? G-Star, we're chalking it up to a gremlin, moisture. Knock on wood, the truck's been good. It seems to be working normally. My fuel mileage kind of sucks, but I think it's adjusting to the winter blend. I probably need another fuel filter. So they canceled they cleared the codes. 2 of the codes cleared before I parked the truck, and then they cleared the one code and it never came back. They tested it 3 times, ran the truck for a little bit, no issues, and so I paid $220 for the knowledge that this time bomb is still ticking. So there it is. I've seen his response on the issue. He had remorse and didn't know what was happening. I feel for the guy. Nevada, I mean, that's good. That's good. And that's good that you saw that. It's good that you feel that, because I think a lack of empathy is a huge problem right now as part of that negative energy I was talking about earlier. So if he feels bad, hopefully he'll reach out to those people, and I'm sure they'll try to settle with a lot of these people. He did stop it. It wouldn't speak this, Snorelord. This is media thought control. There you go. He did stop it. And that's what I mean. You judge things by headlines, and I said I'm guilty of it too. But I saw that there was an incident. I didn't remember the guy's name, and I didn't really read into it because I've been on this kick this week of trying to avoid a lot of media stuff. I've been watching Sage every now and then, and I haven't watched my normal stuff or listened to my normal stuff this week, and so I've been listening to a lot of music. I discovered a new band that I like a lot. They're death metal, so you guys probably wouldn't like them, but and then I've discovered some new Viking music that I really like, and just been kind of jamming. And the trips that I've been doing this week take me through the country. I don't see that much interstate, and it's been kind of nice. It's been kind of a nice break. And then sitting out in the woods this weekend will do me some good, clear my head a little bit. Good. He's taking care of the family. It's a good deal. What kind of music does he even play? I don't even know what festival that is. I've never heard of that festival, the Astro whatever. Anyways, you guys want a sunrise update? Here we go. There it is. There's the smash truck. There's the dead bugs in the sky. As I'm looking at hip hop, new age rap. I remember when the Ariani chick, where people got shot at her concert. I had a group of friends that were like, "Oh man, they deserve to be shot because they're at that concert." I'm like, man, I got in a heated argument over those people because there was a lack of empathy. I said, really? You're going to judge somebody based off of what kind of music they like and say that they deserve to die? That's the problem with this country right now. Is if you don't agree with me, you deserve to die. It's kind of dangerous mind think, don't you think? So, Feelox could be the be-all, tell-all to censor issues. The only thing good in New Jersey. Give the guy a roll of duct tape. Have some mercy for the guy. That was a bomb, if I remember correctly. Oh, yeah, bomb, yeah. Look, anytime you have huge gatherings of people, man, there's a lot more risk nowadays, especially with, you know, the fact that we give in the terrorists now and all that. You know, there's no telling. The wife and I went out to a club a couple weeks ago. It was a Tom Petty cover band that she really likes. They're pretty good. That was the first outing we've done in the last, since the HIV started. And the majority of the concerts that I want to go to, they keep getting canceled. And if they aren't canceled, you got to have your papers to get in. And I will not support that. I don't care how much I like the band. I saw your Missouri deer hunt video you posted the other day. I liked it. Cool. I forgot I even did that. But this time of year, it does funky things to the truck's electronics. You know, when you start off with a cold morning, and I believe that morning was the first morning that it got below freezing, like, or right at freezing. I think it was like 32, 31 degrees, and you know, and then by 10 o'clock it was, you know, in the 60s. So when that happens, you have a lot of, like, the electronics are like, whoa, dude, this sucks, you know, and might throw some codes. Also, a dead battery can throw codes as well. I remember one time my truck was worked on, they turned off the APU, so the batteries weren't charged. So when I went out, they had to jump start me, and when I started the truck, all kinds of codes came up. And I called a friend of mine, and he said, just let it idle for a minute. And eventually the codes went away and never came back. So, you know, something to keep in mind with these brand new fandangled, you know, trucks with, you know, 1,001 sensors in them. But let's check on this load here. See if they pushed it to a window. Nope, still 10 a.m. They've upped the book now offer, though. If it's still sitting there, I might call him and say, hey, will it take me late? Give it to me for this amount. But beyond that, I think I just might be heading home. Oh, there's another one. Picks up at 3. And it's gonna make for a late night. Oh, we'll let this ride for a minute. Reading the newspaper, also, I'm getting old. Paul Rudd has been declared the sexiest man alive by People magazine. I don't even know who that guy is. Well, let's just see who it is. BAU. He's named People's Sexiest Man Alive. So it's a big, thing to promote People magazine. Let's see what shows he's known for. That's what he looks like. All right. He's from Kansas. He was in Clueless, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, Romeo and Juliet, Wet Hot American Summer, Anchorman, Legend of Ron Burgundy, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, This Is 40, Wanderlust, Mute, Ideal Home, and he's also played Ant-Man in the Marvel Comics, appearing in Ant-Man, Captain America Civil War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers Endgame, and the Disney animated series What If. He will also be appearing in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So he's making some... He's appeared in Friends, Reno 911, Parks and Recreation. He's in Netflix. Dude's probably loaded. He's got a good agent, is what he has. So, good on him. Good morning, Brad. Don't know that movie. It's one of those comic book story movies, whatever. But anyways, I think we're done talking here, unless there's something else you guys want to ask. I appreciate the thumbs up if you can give one. I appreciate the members. And I also appreciate everybody that's supported me thus far. If you're going to be addicted to YouTube, I'm glad I'm a part of that story. Because, in reality, that's what we all are, right? It's part of someone's story if you're not creating your own. So, anyways, guys, be good to each other. Be safe. Be profitable. And peace out. So we'll see you later. Cheers.